podcast number 152. I confused Dexter because everybody was switched around.
Yeah. Get back to where you're supposed to be.
So today's episode is a mid-season recap of the 5PL, and it's not because we couldn't find a podcast guest. We thought we should really go over the season.
Thanks.
But first of all, a big thing happened on the weekend there. It was on Sunday, wasn't it? The football player? Or when
it was on Monday. Monday.
Night game?
Yeah.
If people didn't see, there was a person off the Buffalo Bills. I don't remember his name, unfortunately. Tim, you probably know.
Hamlin, I think. I believe it's Hamlin, yeah.
DeMar Hamlin.
Yeah.
DeMar Hamlin, yeah.
Tackled a player and looked like helmet to chest contact. He got up after the tackle and then immediately proceeded to pass out and needed CPR and was rushed to the hospital.
Crazy, eh?
Currently on 50% oxygen in a coma.
Yeah, it sounds like there's positive signs. He's getting better, but it's crazy. But you know what? Kudos to a lot of people. Kudos to the training staff there who were at his side and starting CPR within 10 seconds, they said, which is absolutely phenomenal. I mean, obviously, you need to start that right away because, oxygen to the brain, if you want him to be normal after, you got to get that going right away, right? Or live, right? So you got to get that going right away. Kudos to the fans. Like, the fans were all super supportive and good about it, and kudos to the players to be like, yeah, we are not going back out there. We're not doing it. And when when the teams left, the crowd cheered for them. No one was upset. They were just, it was awesome. There was a lot of people doing a lot of the right things, and it was nice to see the support.
It's pretty cool seeing Zach. Is it Zach Taylor, who's the head coach? Anyways, he was from Cincinnati. He went over to Sean Dermott. It's like, hey, I think we're done here, guys. Let's all go home, right? And there was hugs and stuff, and players were talking to each other. I thought it was really cool that Cincinnati lit up their whole city with blue. I mean, that's a pretty good little thing. And I know his little toy drive, right, was what, $2,500 was his goal, and now he's up to $5.5 million, right?
Yeah, there's something about his mom's nursery or daycare or something, right?
Yeah. So I mean, there's obviously some positives to it. It's nice people jumping on board, but you just hope that he's going to be good, right? So, yeah. It's just crazy. It could happen to any one of our centers. It could happen to anybody out there. You just never know, right?
Yeah.
Such a freak little accident. It seemed like, I mean, obviously many things out there that you're reading of what the cause and what this and what that, but an absolute timing thing where it hit the right moment. And it didn't even look like he was the defender hitting, tackling the offense guy. Right? I mean, and hit him and then just got up and something, just timing of it, and boom, and there you go. But it's interesting now reading all the stats of the number of deaths and number of heart attacks that happen at sporting events. It's not a terribly uncommon thing, but certainly don't see something like this in the NFL. But
it's definitely less common in like the NFL. I think it's less common in like most of the sports that we watch. Maybe it's because of the training, but it did happen to Jay Bomeister too, right?
Yeah.
A puck to the chest, and it did the same thing where it hit him just at the right point of the heart rhythm, and that was that, right? So, so it does happen. You see it quite often happen in like running, right? Like marathon running and stuff like that too.
Soccer happens a lot.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because obviously they have chest protection too, right? I mean, they are somewhat protected there, which is even crazier to think that it could happen, right? You just never know what people's health conditions or underlying issues. A lot of us are walking around with not having an idea of what we have, right? It could happen to any one of us, but super fortunate he ended up doing what he did, and obviously I think it was the right call for the NFL to not play that game. Right?
Now, what's the playoff implications on that? Weren't they? I haven't looked that part up. Weren't they in the running here? Kind of.
So the both are, right? And the Bills are sitting first right now, and I don't know. The Chiefs are second, so if they don't play, I don't know what happens, right?
So are they going to wait until after this weekend when Chiefs play Raiders to see if the Chiefs will put themselves into a spot or what?
They haven't said anything. They just said that, hey, they're not playing this week, and they haven't discussed whether they're going to play it at all. So
Isn't there 2 bye weeks that they could fit this game into if they need to?
Yeah, it's just one, and unfortunately, it's already been passed. All their bye weeks are finished.
No, for playoff. There's bye week before playoff, is there not?
There was usually one built in before the Super Bowl for the Pro Bowl, right?
So they could bump playoff games.
Or does it go
fair,
right into playoff? Yeah.
It goes right into playoff, but you're right, Kerry, because there's a Pro Bowl that takes a week off before Super Bowl. So
I just said that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's already too late.
Yeah.
I know. It's
the playoff games the week
Yeah.
and then play that game in a bye week instead. But
Just maybe the Chiefs Raiders game will mean something this weekend then, Tim.
It always means something. The best team's playing, and it's not the Chiefs. So I'm just glad you're going to jump on the bandwagon. Hey, you know what? They dropped Carr, and they come up with this guy who had a better passer rating than Tua.
I probably need to jump aboard the Raiders bandwagon because you're right. Because I'm going this weekend. You know me, Tim. So
you're a bandwagon jumper.
Yeah.
You know what?
Home team, wherever I get to go, whatever's the goods going. Sign this guy up.
We'll see what happens with Tua after this year based on his own health and stuff, but there's stupid talk of Brady going to the Dolphins again, and I keep seeing it. And I would put my fan membership on hiatus until that guy's out. No chance. I do not want to see a Super Bowl happen under Brady as the Dolphins.
I want Brady to win another one, but I don't think it's going to happen. So I don't think we should get too carried away on what Brady's going to do. Although the Bucks have clinched their division, so he's playoff bound and seeking.
Clinched their division with what? They're 7 and 8?
8 and 8.
Oh, they're 8 and 8.
But also, Tim, I could jump aboard the Chiefs bandwagon too and be part of Weber's train, right? I mean, I could be a closet Chiefs fan this weekend for him and just pull the shirt out and go, "Let's go Chiefs."
Yeah,
No,
I think you do whatever you do, right? I mean. Let me put it this way. I had a Secret Santa, and I opened it up. I got an Average Pro shirt and a Bomber's hat. I almost puked.
Yeah. Just you can jump aboard wherever you need to go.
You see me wear it? It's not happening. Never happening. It's all about the Dream Crusher. So let's just get that out of the way there.
I may have regifted that Bomber's hat.
Yeah, perfect.
As soon as you handed it to me, I was like,
it's
"Hey, Chris, I know you got Tim.
Yeah,
here you
it's
go."
Just gonna keep getting rotated. You should just sign the underbrim of it and keep passing it around.
Yeah. You know, Palmer, I don't think you should be talking about quarterbacks in any capacity at all.
How's Russell Wilson?
Russell Wilson could be the worst signing in the history of the NFL.
Who's going to win?
Next to Michael Vick.
So who's going to win the championship? If I put a bet down when I'm in Vegas, because I don't do any of the online stuff. Like, who do I go to the MGM Sportsbook and put some money down for the Super Bowl winner? Who do we go?
Buffalo.
So when you going down?
I go Saturday morning. Raiders game got flexed out on us.
Okay, so
Saturday.
What I would suggest is if you want to go watch any of the football, go to Circa on Fremont. It's a brand new resort, and it's got the world's biggest sportsbook, and it is absolutely bonkers.
On Saturday, on Sunday, maybe
on
that's
Sunday.
the idea.
It is wild. You can see every single
Circa.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is wild. So if you want to watch sports, that's the place to go and do it.
Outdoor sportsbook.
Well, it's indoor, but they have an outdoor one too, and you can actually sit in the pool and sit on your tube, and you can make your bets on the tube.
I'm texting my buddy right now. book it.
Yeah, it's wild. Wow, so that's what I would say.
Oh, it's not coming up, Kemp. Kemp probably speaks. It's just garbage.
You know what? This is Palmer's fault. If you want to be mad at anyone, Adam, you got to talk to Palmer. Just saying. How about the Team Canada US game right now?
Getting her done.
5-2. Yeah, 5-2.
5-2. For considering the way it started, I thought it was going to go south really quick, and then they righted the ship.
Yeah, I'm trying to understand. I wrote on my post. I just don't think Shane Wright is the guy. obviously Bedard's a hell of a player. That Frentilli or whatever his name is from Michigan, who plays for University of Michigan, Canadian player. He looks unreal too. Like, he looks really good.
Yeah, Shane Wright's whatever. He's just a guy that thinks that he's really good.
Yeah.
Has to prove it yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
That Bedard guy's okay, hey?
Not bad.
It's not bad.
Not bad.
Just sad he's breaking all of Eberle's records.
One goal though he scored the last game, and kind
That
of
was
it
gross.
was another highlight reel, like best guy ever.
I always think records are made to be broken, and like we're talking about Ovechkin and Gretzky. I'm a big big Gretzky guy. Ovechkin, all he does is shoot the puck, right? You look at he has the most shots against in shots taken ever in the NHL. The guy just, you know what? It's great that he scores goals, but kind of shame on the defense. Everybody knows he's against the half board, and he's going to shoot that puck every single time, and every time he scores. Like, that's just bad defense. Like, maybe just don't move the goalie. Like, just leave the goalie over there. I don't know. It just drives me crazy.
You really think the league has just been playing this whole time and been like, you know what? Maybe we should cover that guy. I think they do, Tim. He's just that good, and his team.
His shots that good.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's got a great shot. Can't pass for shit, but
Doesn't need to when he scores.
no, I know. It's just crazy to me. Like, you never see the stats where somebody has way more goals than assists, and I think he's got like 100 more goals than assists. It blows my mind. Just give me the puck. Give me the puck.
Okay, we got a question for you guys. We got the Circa Sportsbook on Sunday afternoon. We might need some information, some thoughts here. What do you think? 6 people, full day, all you can drink beverage and food. I don't know if that's what it says, but all inclusive food and beverage package with premium open bar and stadium style food offerings for 6 people. What do you think the cost is from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m.?
Oh, $1,500.
A person.
I was gonna say around 2,200
Per person?
No.
So you think it's like
I'm
12
gonna say
grand?
it's like $600 a person.
What's the calculation? Yeah, you're $3,000 for 6 people.
Yeah,
500.
American.
So you're $500. Everything's American. Yes.
So, okay,
I'm
let's
already
put it this
off
way.
Canadian dollars. I'm already thinking American.
Okay, so this is sponsored by Bradson Promotional Group, and how is Mark Johnson?
No, this
gonna
is a
be able to
personal.
hide
This is nothing to do with the, no. From Saturday morning until Tuesday is all pleasure. There's no work. Don't think Bradson is doing any no. No. Tuesday is when Bradson takes over for a work event, trade show, right?
Okay, and when does Mark start coming back to the office? I've been
16th.
trying to figure.
Yeah.
Okay, so you have some time to hide it. Okay,
Yeah.
all right. Yeah, no, that's good.
You just got to learn better. You're a mom pleaser. You're too worried about making her
No,
mad. You just got to
no,
step up and say, "Mom, I went to Vegas and I got lots of things for the bowling alley.
I did.
I went to the big trade show."
You know what?
Like,
I kept every receipt with me and Robert Gallagher, and I gave it to her, and she ripped them up right in front of me.
you need a
We
corporate.
talked about bowling all weekend. We talked about bowling all weekend.
You take
Jeez,
that to
no,
the labor board. Jeez.
Yeah, if there's that's Gestapo right there. I tell you,
That's enough of this talk.
Thanks. Let's move on.
Yeah. So let's move on to the 5PL. The whole reason this podcast is a thing. Actually, before we do that, we did a video message cameo thing for people to send in. We raised $220. I just about said $2,200.
It was like, wow. There was like a lot of other people did a lot of work because I did none.
So we raised $220. So we'll get that to the Christmas Bureau as soon as we can. I'm not sure how we're going to do that. If we're going to do a photo op or if we're just going to have Dexter and Tim drop it off for us. But thanks for everybody sending those messages and getting that stuff done. We're happy to meet the $110 we raised and put in our money too. So
Yeah, kind of fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
And the great video you did too, Carrie, put together.
That montage one.
Yeah.
Tim and Adam. I had to do some work in order to make it look half decent, but we got to.
Yeah, well, you know what? Everybody else, I looked at it, and I was like, well, first of all, it's nice to meet you at the beginning because I'm the star of the show. But and then so right after that, I look over. Daryl's sitting there like Hugh Hefner in his chair, and Tracy's outside at a beautiful bunch of nice trees and everything and Christmassy, and I'm just fucking standing there, and I'm like, wow, way to outdo me, guys, way to outdo me.
Tim, you were the last one to submit, so it was all on you. Everybody's was in the Google Drive. You could have looked at them, seen how good they were, and then you just.
I have a hard time with Google Drives. I have a hard time with everything.
Yeah, Carrie, how many people actually put it in the Google Drive versus texting you it?
Four of them did.
Four of them put it in the Google Drive?
Okay, does that include yourself?
Me and Tim did not.
Doesn't include me.
Well, we fucked it.
There's no way Weber put his in the Google Drive.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh, Katie and
He's
Dexter
sneaky
for sure
smart,
did.
hey?
Katie, Dexter, and Tracy did.
Yeah.
Okay, so
So
Carrie
did I.
didn't put. So Carrie didn't put his in the Google Drive.
I didn't
You
have
said
to.
four.
I'm the one that made the fucking video,
Well,
dum-dum.
calling the kettle black. Calling the kettle black here. Wow. So really, Daryl, it was just you and I, and he threw us under the bus. It's all
I
right.
didn't
You know
say
what?
shit. You guys have figured it out on your own, Sherlock.
Hey, we're not. Sucks to suck. Thanks for doing it for us, though. It looked good.
You're welcome. So yeah, back to 5 p.m. Let's just quickly over the standings mid-season. So we got the Cargill division here. We got the Pin Slayers leading the charge. So for everybody, there's obviously a points board telling you where they're sitting at the points, but obviously their matches played are differently. So if you want to look at probably a more accurate representation of where things are kind of going to end up standing, you can't really base it on, I guess, the bottom three teams. They only have 2 matches, but there is a win percentage that you can look at. It's the third column from the right. So like the Bombers, there's 6 matches played and they're at 677, so projected to be probably number 1 at the moment.
Yeah, they've been playing really well.
Yeah. King
It's
and
crazy.
Bombers are sitting pretty good, but
You look at like all the divisions and like that win percentage is like pretty close all the way through on most sides, Obviously Bombers are the outlier there, like winning 2/3 of their matches is pretty solid. That's really good all the time.
I think that number is really cool to see this year, right, Carrie? Like the percentages to see, like, oh yeah, because of the variance in timelines of how often people are playing, it's really good for teams, especially teams who've only played 2 games. Down the bottom, like the Misfits or Dakota, thinking that they're out of it, right? I only got 7 points. Well, the reality is no. Look at the percentage of win and focus on that throughout the course of the year. You'll be okay.
yeah, exactly. Daryl, did the Bombers have 2 8-0 wins?
No, 7. So we had an 8, a 7, and then a loss, and then a 7 and a 6.
Yeah,
I think that
so
maybe
solid.
adds, or 6.5. So close, good. I mean, we slipped a little bit. I mean, our goal is obviously to win every game you play. I think everybody does, right? But we look at the standings and we feel pretty good about where the Bombers are at. We losing that game to Heartland, a bit disappointing. But then we lost the game to Northern Knockouts, who are right up there in the mix too, and proving that they can play too. Coralie's played really well up there. The Latondra boys, the Bulios, they got a solid team in there, so they got to be happy with where they're at in the standings, and especially by beating the Bombers. They got that's a big thing. Kingpens too, even take that. So the 2 teams we lost to are sort of ahead of us, right? Well, not ahead of us, but right there with us. So it's going to be interesting for sure.
Yeah, I mean, Bombers definitely the best team right now. So it looks good though.
Pin Slayers have
Here,
played
my-
great
my
guys
mic
too. Is
my mic quiet? Sorry, guys.
It is a little bit quiet, Carrie.
But Carrie, I just turned down everybody else's mic to kind of match your voice, so then everybody else could just turn up the volume because yours was maxed out.
I'll see if I can make it any.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see Dakota come out and get some more games in.
Totally.
Like I said, like Regina is going to be a good team. We said that last year, but they have a different roster as well. But I still think they're going to be up there at the end. Really interested on how the Kingpins finish. Vancouver Island's going to be up there, I think, and yeah, it's crazy to think.
Like
I think big
the
disappointment.
Misfits
Yeah.
got a little bit of a stats. Like we've been working on stats. Obviously, I don't have a full. Let's let everybody know a full stats pack. Everything out there. What we do have is full score sheets now for all the home hardware division. A little bit behind the ball, but we've also got then half of them done for Cargill. Once that's done, we're going to be able to move it into something new. So for everybody who's super excited to see the full stats layout and averages and all that stuff, right now we necessarily don't have that. So there'll be a little bit more discussion based, but some interesting things that we're learning throughout the process of getting all that data. Misfits, their last game that they just played, guys, they shot a 13-23.
Brandon Hagen's gonna do something this year, I think.
They've only played 2 games. When I was talking to the other day, and they're obviously chomping at the bit to get it back and playing. I'm sure sim to Dream Crushers. You guys are looking to get some games in there. Dakota, to get some games in there to play. Chomping at it. But I don't think it's actually a bad thing for those teams. You can spin it any which way for them to not have to play. They can sort of let the season take its course and start to play, and then they can work on their own game, form that relationship, build that bond, and then get out there and try to win some games and get moving up the standings and be that one coming in. So I don't think it's a bad thing for them to be there.
That kid was doomed with genetics.
Can you hear me better? Just checking.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's way better.
Yeah, much better.
All right, good.
I think Van City, was probably the most clutch in like 8, 9, 10 I've seen from any of the teams that I've been commentating on. Every time that I've watched them play, they've come out huge in 8, 9, 10. And like if they were down or if they were equal, they would find a way to come back and win, and they would just blow the other team out of the water. It's awesome. It's been fun to watch for that, for sure.
So let's put up the home hardware division there for everybody that wants to look at them. Rock and Rollers at 641 and the Motor City Mayhem at 750, so 3/4 at the moment. Those are big. The Holy Rollers from Grand Prairie, 688. There's some big ones up there.
Yeah, I'm kind of like Next Gen. Next Gen's been one, even though they're 550. I thought they would be a little bit higher up because they are who they are, right? But shows the parity across the league. You look at it right now. Average Pro's worst team in the division. That's just expected, right? So, but you have the Lumberjacks in there. Lumberjacks are going to. I think you're going to see go up a little bit. Minto. I think you'll see some good games out of Minto as well.
Yeah, like Minto, they're still at 500, right? They only have 3 matches played. That's
yeah.
And guys, Minto had a 1494 thrown at them by the Rock and Rollers and a 1305 by the Roses thrown at them.
Right.
So we're keeping track of all the teams over 1300 and all the singles over 300. We've got that. So in the home hardware division, how many 300s do you think have been thrown this year so far?
I could cheat and look.
30 something.
Yeah, 38 300s.
Yeah. Now let's be honest. Like you're talking about like the 1305 thrown at them. Like I think all teams. I think their baseline for what they want to shoot for is 1300.
It is, but good question, Dex. Okay, so how many? So we've had 9 weeks. I don't know the number of games. At least 27, probably 31. How many weeks have had 4 games on that side? 31, say. So there are, how many games have been shot over 1,300?
On which side?
Out of 32 on the home hardware.
I know the number, but I cheated.
Me too. I know.
So you say that
too.
you're shooting for 1,300 decks. How many of them actually have achieved it out of 31? Dex is
It's
looking
15.
himself.
Well, I just saw everybody else clicking around, so I was just clicking around for funsies. Honestly, it's like I can select cells too.
But it's neat. Like it's 15 out of 31 games. So basically, half of the games,
Right.
people are shooting 300s.
So
great.
does that mean?
Actually, that's not true because there's 31 games times 2. There's 62 people. So you're 1 out of every 4 games.
So 25% of the games are
Over
1300s. So that's why I think 1300 should be a benchmark. You're going to win
Yeah.
75% of the time,
Sure, love it.
right?
What do you think the highest score is? Anybody out there? Have we had a 1,500 yet?
Yeah, I thought we did.
Nope.
Not this season.
We
Well, not
may
yet.
have
We
now
haven't
in the
played
last
yet.
few weeks of Cargill. Sorry, anybody who has, I apologize. Haven't recouped that yet. But in the home hardware division, the high score so far this year, 1494 by the Rock and Rollers.
Yeah, that was early too.
Yeah,
Okay.
That was their first game, was it not?
yeah, against Maniacs it was. Yeah,
Yeah,
So
first game
Week
ever.
5, though.
Motor City Mayhem. Motor City Mayhem. Next up, 1477.
Yeah.
Okay, so here's I'm going to ask you guys this. You look at your five teams that are on there for each one. They go to the playoffs. Which are your 5 teams you're projecting? Halfway. I know it's tough because it's a staggered schedule, and I know we talked about not talking about stats or anything like that. But if you had to pick your 5 teams from the Cargill and 5 teams from Home Hardware, what are your 5 teams?
Oh, that's tough.
Thanks, Tim.
You're welcome. It's a mid-season report, right? That's what they do in hockey, right? So, and football.
And yes, Motor City's had 1477, a 1307, and a 1310. Okay, well, let's look at this one first.
Okay.
Dream Crushers will be in. Bombers will
Bomber.
be in.
Bombers.
I think Heartland will be in.
Well, no, Heartland still plays us too, right? We play them on the 22nd, I think, right? So,
What's the magic number that we're trying to get to then?
well, this is it too, right? I'm just gonna
3 more games. You got to think then. So if those 3 are going to get in, so you're thinking Van Island might be 4th or 5th, but they've got 3 games to go. So what's the number they need to get to? Is that a 50? They need 16 more points in the next 3 games. That's probably a number that gets them in as 50.
Yeah,
So that's 2 wins and a 2.
I would say Bombers, Dream Crushers. I'm gonna go on a limb. I'm gonna say one or the other, Vancouver Island and Northern Knockouts. I don't think both will make it. I think one of those 2 will make it. And then I'm gonna throw in Heartland, and I'm gonna I think Dakota comes out of there.
Yeah, Dakota's only got 2 games, and so it's really hard to judge
I think
their
there's a
season.
life.
But there's so many quality players on that team that.
And then Regina still has 7 games left too. But I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's what I'm kind of looking at right now.
So no Carnage. Carnage is 5 games left. So
Yeah,
if they
they-
go 3-2 with a 5.5 average that's 25 and a half. They're right there. Like that 47
25 and a half,
to
but there's-
50 point is going to be the mark.
But
That's the
still-
mark
Yeah.
you got to be looking to. Hey?
I think 50 is like a 57% win rate, which I think is going to be close. I think that's pretty close. I think 50 is actually a good mark for a number that you just pulled out of your hat. I think that's a pretty good mark.
Anybody else out there that thinks we're not talking about? I mean, Toppler guys. Let's go back to that though. We can look at this one too. We can discuss.
I
them
switched
both.
back. Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
that's
this
all good.
is the one. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I said my piece. Am I wrong, or are you guys putting somebody else in there?
I'm gonna say Van Island, Heartland, Bombers, Dream Crushers, Dakota. Yeah. But there's definitely a few that are gonna be right on the cusp. But I think that they're gonna, like, I don't think there's any way that I'm gonna be 100% right. There's just too many things moving yet.
I think Regina and Dakota, one of those two, and I think Vancouver and Northern Knockouts, one of those two, make one of the top 5.
Yeah, I think Northern Knockouts definitely have an opportunity to come back and get a spot in there for sure after losing the first 2 games they had. I think that they have a legitimate shot.
Only reason why I say is their win percentage is the same, right? Just 2
Yeah.
less games. Yeah.
And their confidence level is definitely way up. They're on a streak, so yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I just based on like commentating and watching the matches, like Northern Knockouts, I think are riding a bit of a high. I think they can catch Pinslayers. It's so tough with so many games still to play. Like, how do you choose a playoff team when half the teams don't even have a third of their season in, right?
Yeah.
Because that's what we're paid to do, being on this podcast.
Okanagan and the Revengers still have 7 games left too.
Yeah.
7 games out of 5.5. You're 35 points. You're right there.
And the Revengers need to start revenging.
So, because we're only halfway through this podcast right now, I'm going to put it out there. I think we should have an analyst show once a week, if it's Sunday afternoon or something like that, from 2 or 3 people that aren't on a 5PL team or involved with a 5PL team.
Yeah,
I'm putting it out there. If you guys want to do it, we will get the setup for you. We will get you the outlet on 5Pin Universe.
But you gotta wear a suit.
Yeah, you gotta be an analyst. You gotta break down the matches. You gotta do the projections. You gotta put in the little bit of work. But we will give you the platform to do it, and we will support you the whole way. I really want to see something like that, and I want to avoid the bias situation. So if they're not part of a 5PL, that would be perfect.
Nathan, you didn't listen.
Nathan, you're on a 5PL team, right?
I'd say it was Steve Barker. What about the other? What about Home Hardware? What do you guys think? Top 5.
Well, we definitely have some clear cuts right away,
I
right?
think
Rock and Rollers
Roller-
and Motor City are both going to make it, and they're likely going to be 1-2.
Yeah, that's a good. They're in.
I think next gen you'll find a way to get in.
Next gen will get in.
I think Holy Rollers get in.
I
Look at their win percentage, Tim.
Yeah,
there's
no,
only
I do
4
think
matches
Holy
though.
Rollers get
Yeah,
in.
but they've definitely built a lead, which is big.
Okay.
This this surprises me. I'm going to say this because I wouldn't have said this before, but well, I think Quebec is in trouble. I think Quebec is in trouble. They especially when you've got 2 teams running away with it already. Quebec would have been one that I thought would be in the top 3 with them, and right now they're going to have to put together some wins. They're going to have to go on a run here now. So I think that they're capable of going on a run, but I think it's going to be they're going to have to if they're going to sneak in the top 5.
Yeah, for some reason my gut will tell me Rock and Rollers, Motor City, Next Gen, St. James. I think will, and I think it'll come down to the last spot will come down to TB8, Holy Rollers, or Minto.
This is nuts, guys, because you go down the list and you look at the teams there, and you're like, well, how top the Roses? They're only 15, yeah, they're probably out of it. But then they're like, well, they've only played 4 games.
Yeah.
They've got 7 games to go, right? So, I mean, a story could be made for each one of them. So, I mean...
Yeah, Rock and Rollers I think is a lock. They've already played 8 games, and they're at a .641.
Yeah,
like, that's
they've
huge.
got 3 more
That's
to
huge.
go. Get themselves to 53, 54. They got a quality team there. Have a great vibe. Brad Glenn's shooting huge. You know what? Who from there, guys? from Rock and Rollers. Brandon Smith. He's had a 343, a 351. Shane Chafe's had a 315. Like, these guys can throw bombs and are legit. Brad Glynn's had a 325. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're legit. Rock and Rollers. Motor City Mayhem, though, too. They are. And Nathan Cooper, 320. Ian McLean, 340. Ian McLean, 386. That was the same day, guys, that Ian McLean shot a 726.
Yeah,
Double.
that guy doesn't age.
And he's in the anchor spot. Right? Then they got, this is again in Mayhem, Connie Ward, 332. You know, like,
Yeah.
not to mention Brandon Tibbs there on the Rock and Rollers with a 362. Jeff England had a 315. You know, so yeah, Motor City is going to be in.
I have this sneaking suspicion that T-Bay is going to do it this year. I think they're going to make it. Just a gut feeling. You know, they've only got 5 games left. They're at 500 right now, but just a gut feeling that, you know, you've seen a change in them in the last, like, at least with the matches that I've been commentating, I've seen a change in them in the last, like, 3 matches or so, especially from where they were last year. And there's definitely, like, an intensity level, and you could definitely see a confidence level difference. It doesn't look like they're hoping and praying. They look like they're actually, like, expecting to throw strikes now. So, yeah.
So if the number is 50, do you think they put 5 wins together to get 26 points?
I mentioned I have to look
Who's that? T-Bay?
T-Bay, yeah.
Yeah, let's go back to that.
You know, okay, so I definitely think right now for Cargill, I think 50 is the target there. I don't know if 50 is the target here, just because you have 2 teams that are like big outliers, right? So that changes it a little bit, where the teams down in the top 5 are going to need less points to get in because the top 2 are going to have a big differential. So I don't know if 50 is going to be the target here.
T-Bay, yeah. I don't know if TBA will get in. I think they're going to be 6th. They're going to be the last guy out. But legit, got a team going. They got Taylor Michelle 347. They need a couple other helpers for a couple last ones here, 5. Like, they got to come to play to get that up there.
It's so hard to say though, because you look at this on this list right now. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, only 6 teams that are over or 500 or over.
Yeah.
Right. Because the differential is so high at the top.
There's only 5 on the other division, about 500.
That's fair. Okay, so let's take a look at like the 400s and how close they are too.
Right. So going back to Cargill, going above 400 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah. So only 2 teams below. Yeah.
I guess it's 3
can use
there.
that as a standard yet.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if Next Gen gets in. I feel like that's so crazy that I'm even saying that. You can't hear the words coming out of my mouth.
That is a hot take. That is a hot take.
I don't know. I just don't know. You know what? And I'm not gonna. Maybe I shouldn't.
You know what?
They're buddies. They're all Edmonton guys. I got to be their manager coming up here for the Open. I can't say that.
I think Next
give them a
Gen
little
gets
fire,
in.
hey? Yeah.
Next Gen gets in. There's been it's a different makeup this year. I think just Brad and Ty are obviously there, and Jenna's there, and then everything else around it should be, they're all great
Brad
calibers.
Titgat though, could be the MVP right now for, like, he's got 311. He's got 300s. Brad 311, 330, and a 327.
Yeah, he's been on a heater.
Tyler had a 361 and a 367.
And like a $170 though.
Yeah,
but I just want to say,
$170 as well.
Brad's league average went from 290 to 280 in like a month. So how
And
Taylor
beat him like 8 times. Yeah.
If Rylan wakes up in the morning and gets himself there, that's probably better than him not sleeping in and not showing up until the second game too. Haley hasn't really played exceptional yet to start.
Haley
Cody's been
hasn't
okay in there. Julie's okay in there, but I don't know. I think that
and
there's
Evan hasn't played a whole lot either.
There's the hot take there. Next Gen. Let's get in there.
That is a hot take, and I'm gonna completely disagree with you. but
You think they're in? I don't know, because I think like look at like St. James has 7 games yet. They can get on a run of 5 wins. 5 wins and 7 points is 35.
Next Gen is just as capable as any team to face every possible high end team and win every single one of those matches.
100%.
So
I just don't know. I don't know.
But what a storyline would that be, eh? Like if they didn't make it.
No, okay, yeah. What a storyline it would be, but they've got 6 games left, and you have Tyler and Brad and Jenna who just won nationals.
The Roses, guys. The Roses have 7 games to go too. Like, you can't be telling me that Parker and Holdsworth and Weber and like Stacy's going to be texting you in 10 minutes here. Like, Tim, I can't believe you haven't given Roses any attention.
Well, I mean, we have. I just tell her the internet's not working there very well. I can't watch any of their games.
So,
like the Roses got some play to do there. Like,
just
Bandits,
look at the win percentage though,
Plex.
right now. Like Next Gen is sitting 4th.
Yeah,
I know.
with 6 games to go.
I know.
If you just take that strictly as is, like, I'm gonna say Next Gen's gonna be above average for the remainder of the season. That they're in. Right? But anything could happen. Like, the Lumberjacks could catch fire and win their last 6 matches and swoop a bunch of teams too.
There
right?
you go.
So,
That looks like a bunch of the veteran teams need to chase the young kids to make sure that, hey.
Hey, Next Gen needs to wake up. Let's be honest here. They are not where they should be. So,
who have they faced so far?
Next Gen has played. Yeah, let's just turn this into a Next Gen podcast.
Let's just drill Next Gen.
Oh, I can't wait to tell her. Text me. Yeah.
Next Gen played the first week against Average Pros, beat them 7-1 with a 13.57. Then they played Lumberjacks and they only shot a 12.02. And with a 11.53, Tyler came in halfway through that game and shot a 195. So Tyler's had 3 monsters and then a $170.
We'll just casually throw that in there. 2 monsters and a $170.
He ain't wrong though.
No,
and then they had a 13. They had a 13.11.
Absolutely.
Brad Titgat also had a 282 in there, right? And they beat Toppler Roses. So Next Gen's played Toppler already. Then Next Gen played Mayhem and lost to Mayhem. They only had an 11.72. Brad had a 3.27 that game, and that's where Ryland had 75 and 5 and came out. Tyler had 7 headpins in the game. He had a $1.59. I'll have you.
$1.59.
I think that's when he got rid of the dice balls. He was using those for so long, and then he's like, I don't trust these things anymore.
Jenna
Garbage.
She's only in Pro League this year, 230-ish into there. Like, she had a 233 and missed the corner pin in 10 and ended up losing a game there.
Some of us know how that feels.
Newfoundland. They played Newfoundland, right?
And then they played Rock and Rollers. And Newfoundland, get this, they had 12.75 and beat Next Gen 12.73. Brad 330, Jenna 234, Tyler 203, Cody 279, and Haley 227.
So if we look at it right now, they play T-Bay still. They had to play Holy Rollers. They had to play St. James, Toppler.
No,
Bridge
they played Toppler.
Sorry, they already played Toppler. Bridge City, Mighty Plucks, and Minto.
In that game against the Rock and Rollers, Brandon Tibbs had 362. Bradley Titgat, he was shooting huge coming home, had doubles coming home. Brad Titgat shot or punched in 10th, and then he blew through in the 12th, right? Ended up losing total. Brad Glynn had a 5 spare in the 11th, and then threw a strike to win total by 2.
Right.
So Brad Glynn had the final shot, and he came back and he made the strike to win total by 2.
You look at Next Gen's scores right now. They're 22 and 19, and they've lost to the 2 best teams in the league, and those are basically the 2 losses they had, right?
Hey, maybe this is just what they need. Hey, they need a little mid-season. Send them the shot Next Gen.
So
tough love.
You look at their rest of the remaining schedule. They have a pretty favorable. Like I said, I'll show some love to next gen. I know Daryl doesn't, but
I'll stick with it. I'm not sure. I'm not convinced right now.
Okay, let's talk about average pros. Do you think they get over a 350 winning percentage, or is it going to be stuck around the low threes?
What's the number that
I
average?
think they'll get there. I think they'll get there.
Yeah.
350.
So that's 6 games. What's their number? What's their magic number they're looking to get to? 6 games, 30 points. Yeah. We'll go to the...
those things are correlated, Scott.
Yeah, I don't know.
30. What are they trying to
I
get?
really
guys?
want them
6?
to. I hope the average pros.
So they
Do
play. They play Holy Rollers. I mean, they played all the top teams so far.
Yeah.
Get to 30
Holy
points,
Rollers.
guys. Get to 30
And
points.
let's be honest,
Everybody out from St. James down, right? Yeah,
they
that's
really
what
haven't played poorly.
No, they've had good scores.
Yeah.
They've had some not so good scores.
I'm just wondering because on that team, let's put the ladies aside. You have Jordan and Scott going to play every one of those games, right? So,
yeah, Scott had a 330, 302.
And Scott's been good. And Jordan.
Scott got the yank, Tim. Scott got the yank.
He asked
Henry
to,
had a 320.
He needed it. He needed it. He didn't hit the
Charles,
middle for like
when is
17
Mark,
balls in a row.
Jordan
Charles,
Schultz had a 301.
When's Charles, Mark, Henry? When are they going to show up and play?
Mark won his last match.
Henry's played pretty
Yeah.
good, too, guys.
They put him in there for just for feeling good about it. That's all they did put him in there.
No, he
for,
played
right?
good.
I know.
Well,
He has
I think-
just as many wins as you do.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
Five more
think
games out.
here's
Five
the
more
hot
games.
take for the
I
average.
bet you he's a mom pleaser too.
Here's the hot take average pros.
he is a-
They're going to need some lady support. Right? Sue, Katie, Brittany, and they can play, and they they need to get to 240. They don't have to shoot 300s, but if they can get to the 240, be tight in their match, maybe win a match, but that hangs them into a total, right? And I'm not, I have numbers exactly right in front of me, but they need that a little bit, because you're right. Henry or Scott and Jordan going to play.
And look, don't forget Henry's averaging 260 this year.
Exactly.
He's averaging 260 this year. He can
need
play,
a fourth and a fifth. I'm not. Yeah.
What a lot of those guys need to do is they need to just do what makes them them. They gotta be goofy. They gotta be having a good time, and they gotta forget the camera in the back. Because when Henry's just out there shooting and just like being an idiot, he's playing great.
Yeah, they're more worried about putting up signs than they are about the play.
And then but when they put up the signs is when they actually play good.
Okay, so for all you guys out there, the average pros can play. But I took one of them after Boxing Day to Denny's because he had to get pancakes in order to get him back to his wife, Scott. And him and Anthony were playing the plush machines. And when we left, Scott literally layered the whole plush machine with average pro stickers. So the plush, they're putting that shit everywhere, right? And I'm like, oh, man.
If there's one thing they're leading in, though, guys, they're absolutely
merch.
leading, is in merchandise and in fans.
Yeah, they are a marketing wonder. Like, I just think it's just certain people on the team are extra obnoxious, so they just right in your face about it.
But here's the question, Daryl: when they get relegated next year, do they still have the same fans? Because it's not looking good right now.
Fair point. There could be some free agents out there looking for teams.
The rule of Tim.
Yeah. It was
You
literally
gotta
one sticker in the top left corner, but Tim said plastered.
It went from the entire thing to one sticker.
You wanna chat about the Holy Rollers here a little bit? I feel Scott would probably like us to give some love to the Holy Rollers a bit.
Yes,
Sean
of
Tompkins.
course.
Hey, Sean Tompkins, highest game of the year so far.
Yeah, it was
425.
425, 10 bagger chop. That was huge.
We did our first ever in-game switch to the other match to to catch the going for 11, proceeded to jinx him, and went back to our match.
Yeah. They've had, that 1398 in there. They're good. I mean, they got some mojo and they can do some building and they got some stuff. But I mean, Danny Stewart hasn't been as good as he needs to be this year. He's usually playing down the anchor. So Danny or Scott will need to do that. They got the guys sort of in the middle, up in the top. Tompkins, they're not really bottom players, so that'll be the thing that I think Holy Rollers will have to do. Megan, I love Megan's shot. She throws a hard, aggressive ball, so get her playing.
Well, it all depends because she's pregnant, right?
Sure.
Right. So how long do they have her for? Right. I don't know how long will she. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's gonna be crazy. That team, honestly, GP has a lot of talent up there, right? And
Yep.
the biggest thing they have is momentum. If they're rolling, they're tough to stop. If they're a little bit out of sync, I think that's the time, because a lot of the time they can't come back from that, right?
Those Tompkin kids can play, though. All of them can play, and you just see the confidence growing in them.
Yeah,
especially Tom. Tom is pretty confident.
I like it.
Their first game though of the year was a 10-47, so they threw up a dud to start the season. Not very good, right? But they still won 3 points, guys. So they lost total with a 10-57. The Mighty Plucks won the game, 10-57 to 10-47.
Their losses to the Jags.
That's not good, right? Then they smashed the Sleeping Giants. And that's Robert Tompkins had a 303. Tommy Tompkins had a 308. Scott Hauka had a 280. So that's what they need to do, right?
Yeah. And Megan, did they beat Newfoundland?
They did, yes.
Right. So they lose to the Jags and they beat Newfoundland. That team is wild.
Hey, in all fairness, the Jags
that is made for TV.
The Jags are, I think, division leaders. So I'm just saying, like, we can't be knocking on those Jags.
That is fair. I think Sean Tompkins is really good. Really good.
Sean Tompkins 292. So the next game they were they beat Rock and Rollers 1233 to 1203. So we're right in there. Robert had a 290. Sean had a 292. Danny had a 249 that game.
But then you see, it's neat watching these players play and compete against people from around the country, and then shooting 400s on camera, which isn't exactly easy. And then Sean comes out to TPC and makes his first cut.
Yeah.
Right. It's awesome. You see the growth in people.
Yeah. So that game, Sean had a 425. Robert Tompkins had a 280. Corey Peugeot had a 246. She's a solid player too. Danny Stewart 268 that game. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For a 1398.
I guess, he did bring up the Jags, right? Sorry, the Colts, right? The Colts always have an old quarterback they're replacing year on year out. So when is Hawka going to get replaced with either Scott Olenberger or Timmy Sharp? Because those guys have more talent than Scott does right now.
I can't believe those two were shunned.
I can't believe those two were shunned. They should be on the team.
I've heard rumblings about an expansion team up there.
Isn't Olenberger? Didn't he cut off his hand here lately?
Yeah, he's got only 9 fingers now.
Yeah, so probably
his fingers work. His fingers be back. Yeah, but yeah, no, I mean, Scott talks a lot of shit. Yeah, just come on, just go play.
So do you, though. You talk more shit than anyone.
Yeah,
anyone.
You know what?
One shit talker.
You know what? In all fairness, we want to have bickering. We want people to hate our team or love your team. That's what we got in the 5PL. Unfortunately, everybody's just being too nice, right? So, you're welcome, Robert.
I think we've started a domestic, Tim.
That's perfect. 6th place now. 6th place. They're going to drop down our schedule to 6th place now.
Who else is in that division we could chime about?
Yeah.
I mean, Minto, not giving Lonnie a bunch of love there. Michael Wist, our buddy.
Yeah, Sean Dino.
Newly engaged Nilsson. Buddy, Wisty. Sean Dino, Zach Nilsson. They've only played now 3 games, right? So they're a tough one to really too much. And they.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. You know what? You're right, Barker. You should ask. Should ask the time that I stiffed Kerry at the Open Provincials one time.
You sniffed him?
Stiffed him.
He dodged me so he could win an All-Star medal. That's what happened.
Last game Minto played, they won
Smart guy,
8-0. Minto beat Mighty Plex at 12-60 to 11-15 the last game they played.
Minto's talented.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
Only
That
played
team's
3
like
games,
really
obviously.
good. Yeah.
That Krista, who's on that team?
Crystal, Dawn Mardell,
Yeah, Crystal's like Dawn's played the tour. She's really
Krista
solid.
Mulhall, and Dawn.
Yeah,
yeah.
Krista Mulhall is a very good player. That she doesn't play. Right.
So look,
And,
you mean nobody said that Minto's going to make it in? That's 8 games that they've got to play out of 5.5 points, right? Your average, you're 45. You're well over 60 points. So they're at 500 right now. Minto's got to have a chance to make it in.
Yeah.
Can
Like
we
I said-
talk about, can we talk about Bridge City Bandits?
Yes. Let's take that. Okay.
They
Yeah, go ahead, Craig.
their last game was unreal. Where were they all season?
What was their last game?
They
not the
didn't
last-
they beat the
the
Rock and
last
Rollers or
2 games ago. The last one they'd had, I don't have it complete, but it was Lewicki shot 295. But you're thinking of the 1433.
yes.
Yeah, 335, 289 for Derek, Janelle 326.
Like that's what they
Yeah,
You
Curtis
kinda
is getting
expect.
back in it. I mean, obviously they're struggling a little bit with the lean conditions there are
Yeah.
different, and people there's some travel time there and getting used to it. It'll take a bit of mojo and working on the lanes. I think that they're, you know, obviously with the Deerings and experience on lane conditions and having to,
Yeah.
learn some stuff
Yeah.
and adjust.
I
a little
know-
bit.
I know Curtis has wanted to go and like fix some things up a little, but
Yeah,
Okay. So
but if you want to talk about like travel, I mean, a lot of the teams have travel.
totally.
You know,
I also
Like,
Kara hasn't
our
played a whole
team-
lot. Yeah.
Okanagan. I'm sure Vancouver has some because it takes you an hour to get anywhere there. like,
yeah.
Yeah.
Here's my so. I know obviously they want to have an expansion, but when Panorama split into 2, it looks like both of them are struggling at the moment, right? It was that like I'm all for it. I mean, we played enough opens. We know these people on both sides. We both know that there's talent there, right? But was it a detriment splitting, or do you think at the end of the day, I mean, we're just talking here, and I think both can be very good, but I think that the people they added in Lethbridge, if there were some roster changes with the Panorama together on that one, obviously I think that would have been a better.
Do you think that obviously we're not going to delve into personal relationships or anything like that because we don't know the inside scoops of everybody's lives and stuff like that, but do you think maybe it was too tough of a call to make some cuts to streamline a team that has that much talent, right? That's a big zone.
And how about, I'll put it this way too,
It's
is that
tough. It's tough with talent.
we wanted
Tough with
24
guys.
teams, so it made the right choice to get there by splitting up those teams. We probably knew that they weren't going to get any better, but they certainly didn't get any worse. They just sort of stayed where they're at. And
Yeah.
that's a bit of a kick in the pants to both of those teams, being Albertan and loving them all too, is that they got to be better, right? If you want to compete,
and they
with
have the
260
potential to
teams,
be better.
they can be better, and they
So-
should
so
be
you look-
better. And this is
so
this is a format, so there's
Yeah.
some kinks being worked out all over.
So for these people that maybe don't know the background of some of these bowlers, Michelle Manton is a very good bowler, right? She just plays for South a lot. Cara Deering's been to Nationals. She's a good bowler. Janelle Moyer is from Regina. She's made Tournament Master single out of Saskatchewan. Right now she's out of Alberta. Bobby Verpy is Bobby Sisko. She's won 2 singles out of Alberta for open provincials, plus teams. Derek Lewicki's done really well, always a mainstay. Hershey won a gold medal in mixed back in 2009 on the mixed team at Open Nationals. Dan Rydeye has made many Open Nationals, won gold. He's won the Autumn Open. Dan Radai is a hell of a player, underrated. And of course, everybody knows Curtis, right? Curtis has done it all as well as himself, right? Won the KG and all that. Those guys are all good players. It's just, I just think it's mixing it all together. I just look at it.
It's going to take some time for them. It's going to take some time for them, just like it's going to take time for the newly formed Mad Hatters. Because I think as separate entity, or it's not separate entities, or separate teams, they're better off. And I do like the makeup of both teams. And I do think that they're both could get better as these teams, rather than saying, sorry, there's only one team. You guys have to figure it out of who's the 8 out of the 16 to be on there, right? Build both markets, grow them both, see what happens, gel as a team. And right, Tim, you said all these things of how great they are, but it's a bit of the what have you done for me lately type of a deal. Yeah. Right? Curtis, you're my buddy and stuff, and Kara, but you guys haven't played competitively. You're shot in big matches.
And Danny, same as Danny, right? Both.
Right, Derek, Danny, right? So coming together, it's a bit tough. And we knew it was going to be a stretch, but damn, we want 24 teams, and that's a market that we want to be in, and we want those teams. We want that's who we want. So we're not kicking anybody out or ready to say goodbye. I mean, and they're not even
except for the average
the
pros. They're kind of looking. Yeah. If they
unless
would kick some money towards the league, maybe we could do something for them.
We take bribes, people.
Yeah. And we're not having.
We don't condone gambling, but we condone bribing.
Not to get into it, but I have had 4 people asked about expansion teams.
Mm-hmm. And I had 1, so that's 5.
So maybe one of them are the same people, but there's people who want in, and right now, I mean, we're not going more than 24. No. It's not happening.
I think that's the right size of league moving forward.
Okay. So moving forward, I'll throw this out there. Well, we'll talk about that, Henry. Maybe throw some more money in there, but but do we have 2 teams of 2 divisions of 12, or do we spread them out and make 3 divisions of 8?
No, I think we have to stick with what we got right now so that we can perfect our craft. We've got, in my mind, a really good thing going. It's a lot. There's a lot. There's a lot. We've doubled what we did last year. And
Daryl, are you not glad that we talked you down from 30? We talked you down from 30. Daryl.
I remember that's why Weber's on a break right now, because he can't handle set 24 teams. Yeah. It's too much. It's too much for Weber. So he says no. Yeah. So no, it's a lot. So we got to perfect what we're doing and how we're doing this first. And I think that Tim, bless your heart, for doing the schedule. Carrie doing all the overlays. I mean, there's a lot of people doing a lot of work behind the scenes to make this happen. So, it's 24 is where we're at. Let's not get ahead of ourselves right now.
So, I know this is just a mid-season recap and stuff like that, and we did put out that if there's analysts out there that want to take on a show, you should take on a show. We'll help you out with that. But is that something that the league moves forward and say you relegate a team off each division if we got teams waiting in the wings?
I think there will have to be a format and even somehow consideration. What do we do for next year? I mean, we can't simply just give the teams automatic entry. There's some sort of there has to be discussion on who the team's coming in. There has to be a relegation of some sort.
I don't know if that's something we could implement this season and say the bottom 2 teams are out, but I think maybe preparing for next season we say, okay, the bottom 2 teams out of each division are being relegated. Like, this is
automatic.
You need to play. And if you're just here to put on a show, you may not be a team that sticks around, right?
But I agree. But I definitely agree with you too, Kerry. I don't think that's something, if it's not in the rules going into this year, it's not something we can implement right away. But going forward after that, if that is something that we do decide to do, I think a relegation round is not a bad idea. But I would like to see it not even so much as just the bottom 2 immediately out. I don't know how many teams we want to let in at 10, but I think we have an actual match. Bottom 2 teams face off, loser out.
Or you have a weekend tournament where, like you say, the bottom 4 teams from each division go into a tournament and they play 4 teams that are trying to get in, and the top teams move into the league the next season. You do a whole tournament format.
You could.
I think it'd be a wild weekend because, like, just the pure intensity of that would be awesome, right?
Yeah, I thought, how cool would it be if, and thinking here that if all the teams at one point in time got into it were all live, or whoever was live, you had a live championship. Like, and I'm thinking, would it not work with Club Tour at Nebs? You know, when you have that tournament, you come in a day early or you stay a day late, and you have a team pro league now event one day, or even just a 5-hour segment, and you just have a big showcase and a fun little something. Like, it'd be cool.
For sure. I would love if the league got to a point where there was enough funding, there was enough sponsorship funds that you could do. The finals are going to be such and such a weekend. Maybe it's Open Nationals week or Masters week or something like that. And you fly the 2 teams in, whoever they are, and you do a live show and you showcase it.
Yeah.
Why couldn't you get to that point?
Be awesome. But I think you got to do it on an existing time when it's already an event where a lot of people are traveling to. And it only makes sense in the summertime at the end of the season at club. Like,
Daryl, you forget, we're privatized. We can raise money a lot faster than some of these other associations. So you never know. You never know.
Buck up, peeps. Let's go. Michelle Brown had a question about what do teams have to do to get a new team. I mean, we haven't officially opened it up for expansion team. If you're looking at a team and you want to put a team in, reach out to one of us, you know, myself, Tim, whoever, and let's have a conversation. And we're not going. It's not going very far right now. It's just more listening to a conversation right now.
Yeah. I don't think we're going to be looking at expansion, but like there will be options moving forward. Maybe not next season, but where those new teams will have an option to get in.
Do you think we have any existing team that will simply say, "I don't want to be part of it anymore," and I'm out?
It's really hard to say.
1 out of 24. I'm not saying who, or wouldn't look to see who. I don't. I honestly, I hope not.
It's really hard to say.
I think in anything with 24 teams, I think you could have 1 or 2 teams probably, right? Yeah.
It just depends, I guess, on team chemistry too, where a team just, if they don't feel that their team can gel and they can't pull in players that they can fill those spots, that's probably an option for them. But I don't see out of the 24 teams in right now that happening.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. And I think when we do relegation rounds, maybe we make it every 2 years, something like that too, just so you don't have a team that joins and then, you know, it doesn't go their way the first year and then they're out too. And they all buy shirts and get out of there.
Whatever, as long as they buy shirts. Oh, that's something we should talk about, Daryl. Are we going to be moving into the next merchandise round? I've had nothing but compliments about the hats around the whole country.
Awesome.
And I know there's lots of people looking for teams or even possibly replica jerseys.
Oh, good idea. Sure. We can do.
But they gotta be like terrible material, cheap knockoffs for the replica jerseys.
Could
for the same price.
Oh yeah, sure, guys. Yeah.
Could oh, that's funny. We just go to Bufa. But anyways,
No, BPG is our logo sponsor. We are not selling the copyrights to anybody. Tim.
Anyways, but
Tim, didn't you rip off the logos and build a shirt on your own?
I didn't rip off a logo, but here we go. I
think you owe the league some money.
Yeah, I'll give you a high five. There we go. Perfect.
No, I'm serious, because that is the number one thing we told all the teams, not to do that.
Okay, well, let's just mute this and we'll talk about it later. But I think, can we put it on our Shopify store? Could you put like a jersey on each one of them, and then they can purchase it off the store? And we
How
can
about
create
we
one.
just wait until we have a guy come back to work, and then we can dedicate some full-time, some more attention to all this.
But Daryl, this is easy. All of it's already ready. You just got to slap a name onto it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's easy, guys. Everything's easy.
It's a cake.
I don't even think they get names. I think it's just the design of the shirt, the logo on the front. That's it.
So we could do just a T-shirt
Yeah.
style, or you could do a golf shirt style. What are you thinking? Do you want just
T-shirt,
a
Scott.
Just
T-shirt.
t-shirts.
Yeah. Yeah. It's not hard. I mean, when Mark gets back, he'll have work, right? That's exactly what we're trying to create him.
The only thing is Daryl, can you do one-offs? Because there's probably only one Dream Crusher shirt being sold. So is one-offs
Yeah, well,
a
you
thing?
could the same thing. We make all the tour shirts. You could do one-offs, right?
Okay, perfect.
So you
Good.
could do a one-off crew neck shirt for a less price, or you could do a one-off polo, right? You could do we could do a little program. Do you want to get with somebody's name on the back? Are they allowed to get Kerry Kreitz on the back? Are they allowed to get Tim Wiseman? Are they allowed to change the name and put something different?
I think
Sorry.
we have.
Mike's practice rates just got way more expensive.
Yeah,
Mike's a big fan. I like Mike. Let's go.
You know what?
Mike is the Bombers' number one right now, and I like it. I like it.
He's sadly mistaken. That's the third best team in the. Oh my God, Mike! I can't.
Let's go, Bombers!
I don't even. Well, hey, you Mike's bowling our the tournament in the Friday night tournament, the Tim Wiseman Memorial Tournament.
The TWMT?
Yeah.
TWMT. So Tim, what were you going to say about the names and stuff like that on the shirt?
I think it'd be great if you can get a customized one, or you can pick somebody else's name, like Kerry Kreitz. Somebody walking with a Kerry Kreitz jersey in the back. I think that's cool. I think that's cool. I think that's really cool. Right? I think so.
Well, just like Connor McDavid, how do you think he feels when he's walking around the city? He's got, 300,000 people wearing his jersey.
That's true.
How many people want Tim Wiseman jerseys walking around and be like, who's Tim Wiseman from the Dream Crushers?
So then there goes the say, do you want it customizable? It should only be team player jerseys. It shouldn't be slap your own name onto a team jersey.
Either nothing at all, or a team player.
I like that.
Yeah. I like that too.
I think it'd be kind of cool to have a team
John
player
Stone,
like that.
get to work. But
Do we want it to be exact same jersey, or do we want it to be a little bit different? No, we want it to be exact
let's
same
invert the colors.
jersey. No, let's just do the exact same jersey.
Yeah.
We'll make it a crew neck style. So it's just a T-shirt. It's not the polo. So the official is the official polo. We'll start with that. Is that what you're thinking? Is that what you're asking
like
for?
Like
Yeah.
There we go.
business decisions being made live.
So
people.
here's the thing though. Okay, so Mike, so now that you're a big Bombers fan, sorry to disappoint you. If you got a jersey, which one did you get? Is it Johnstone? Is it DB? Right? Like,
It's probably Heidi Mapstone. Let's be real.
oh, Heidi's
Heidi,
unreal.
yeah.
Heidi's unreal. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of buttered.
What about can you get players of past that aren't playing current?
I think so.
I think
Yeah,
that would
totally.
be a selling feature.
Oh my fuck! Oh, just shut the fuck up! Holy. He's triggering me.
Tim is having a meltdown.
Yeah, I think if you want a player of the past, maybe there will be a special badge on it or something, like vintage or some type of badge that signifies that it's a player past. You got to change something up because, but I don't know. I like it.
Yeah.
I like the options.
I like the idea of selling some more
There you go.
team shirts. Yeah,
retro
yes.
Regina jersey, the folded Regina team.
See, he's listening. He's taking notes right now, guys. Let's just let's just
not-
fill the
not-
bucket.
Not the Eclipse,
Yeah.
the Infinite Escapes.
Yeah. Any other projects that we need for Johnny to do when he comes back? Like, let's
Oh
just
yeah,
add some more stuff.
actually that'd be cool. Like you come back as a third jersey later down the road.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just don't know how many jerseys or how many name changes Regina needs in order to be good. Right? I mean, next year they're going to be
They're going to go from the Revengers to the what?
I think
Never
I think
was.
Revengers
Never
got
was.
some game. John Mullins, 352. Josie Brooks is in there. Crystal
You know-
Hibner, Doug
You
Clark,
put, you put
They're a
Crystal and Dougie in
freaking
there.
great team. They're a
Johnny
great team.
McDonald. Danny Bear hasn't played great. Dougie hasn't played great. You know,
Yeah. I'm more excited for the sales than the actual play. Like, let's get
just-
this going.
Let's whore ourselves out. Yeah.
The Regina bowling team. T-Bay's already taken that.
Yeah. I'm excited. This is the stuff that we can create and create a brand, right? So
or retro escapes. Mark was probably meaning
Yeah.
infinite escapes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he did say that.
Yeah, we covered that.
Yeah.
yeah, well, that's good talk, guys.
I don't mind it. Anything you guys want to talk about before we wrap this whole thing
Yeah,
up?
I have a couple. I have two things. One, we had the Boxing Day tournament. Mark Johnstone won. Derek Holm won. I do want to throw Derek Holm at 236 average, right? So I mean, the guy wins Manitoba Open, averages 236. I mean, for all you casual players out there, you guys can win a cash tournament too. It looks like so. 236 average.
Yeah, let's not talk where he's playing or what he's playing in, but
Yeah, just throw and then they both played well. Johnny averaged shot 14 and a half
350.
for 4. More than that,
Yeah.
350. More than
it's
350.
no tap.
Still, he still has hit the side of the middle and played well, right?
In a good scoring house, that should be fairly easy.
Yeah.
Do it at St. James. He ain't averaging 350. I'll tell you that right now.
We came second, averaging 260. That was great.
I thought it was cool that Jamie Noonan reached out to us and we did the tournament within a tournament. I thought that was cool. Obviously, Amy went in a casual player. I thought it was really awesome. So excited to hand that out to her on Thursday. The other thing I want to throw out, maybe people already seen it, but congrats to DB on his lifetime membership. I thought that was really cool. So
Yeah, right.
It's awesome.
yeah, so I thought it was really cool.
Yeah,
Daryl
thanks,
put a
man.
lot of time in there and well deserved. 20 years on the board. That's,
Lifetime membership for what, Tim? Because we
Edmonton-
have across
yeah,
the
sorry.
country people watching.
the Edmonton 5-Pin Association. So,
There you go.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I'd like to think that it's not just for the level of my volunteer, that actually my quality of play over the last 20 years too within the Edmonton region of making 12 open teams, 3 nationals, right? Might have something to do with it too. I'd like to think that, but
Tim called you a builder, didn't
But it didn't.
yeah. Well, no, it didn't. It didn't.
No, it's not. It's not part of. It's not part of the thing. So
Okay. I didn't need to check those boxes at all. Hey. Good.
You had to ask live.
Awkward. Yeah.
No, but congratulations. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Super
thanks.
well
Looking
deserved.
Henry's looking for a little tidbit. You guys want to feed him.
oh,
Was he
actually,
second
How
or
did
third?
he do in the Boxing
Third?
Day tournament?
He was
Fourth?
fourth, but I will say if Henry didn't, he averaged 262, but he had his normal 230 average, they actually would have won. So, so sucks to sucks, Henry.
No, but you know what? 260 is his average. He's played every week on Thursday, and he's averaging 260.
I tell you what, Jordan.
That's his
played
average.
well.
He's played.
Jordan
He's
very
played
well.
really well. That's his average.
He played really good.
Just a question for you guys too. You know, Dream Crushers, you guys have only played what, 2 games?
Mm-hmm.
Like a little bit nervous, gotta be that. I mean, you've got a long ways to go now to get up to 50 points. I mean, obviously Tim has all the confidence in the world and knows that you're the best team in the world. But
Dude, we've got.
we
We only
you
need.
guys gotta be like those teams. They're now gearing up, are ready to play you guys and keep you down at the bottom.
Daryl,
So you got
I
a
have-
long road. Like the
I
road for you
have a
guys to get.
surprise
like,
for the Dream Crushers. Before our next match, we will be so hyped, so
You'd
ready
be
to
so
go.
overconfident, and when that pole gets knocked down and that chopped at your feet, and you just start coming down,
Daryl,
like panic.
you're
Panic
sitting there
might set in.
Okay, stop. You're sitting here talking. You're talking like, oh man, need so many points to get to 50. We need 36 points. We have 9 games left. That means we literally need to
Yeah.
average 4 points a game. We need to go
And everybody's
50,
coming for you.
50%.
Everybody's coming for you guys. Right? You
As they
have
should.
to still get
As
them.
they
People
should.
aren't just going to say, "Here you go, have them." They're coming for
but
you guys.
Why do we need? They need to be nervous because they're facing us.
That's right.
Well, go ahead, get yourselves overconfident. Good for you guys. You're the best.
Really
You're the best. Way to go.
Hey,
All I
we are
say
the
is
best,
that
We have the trophy. We are the best. You're correct.
yeah, you are. You go
Daryl,
get it, guys.
I don't
go
know
get
if
him,
you-
everybody. Yeah.
I'm just glad you guys finally picked up Kemp and Heller because that lowers your age limit on that team, right? Because everybody's over 40.
It's
Is that
likely going to
was
get
that-
lower next year? I'll be gone. Steve will be gone. We'll all start. Heidi's gone. We're going to go to the next gen. We're going to change the Bombers' name to next gen next year. After next gen doesn't make the playoffs, they're going to reform and it'll be a big, after next gen doesn't make it, Misfits don't make it, average pros don't make it, Bombers, we don't live up to, championship status. We got to make some changes again.
Do you think it's in the name?
Dream
Do
Crushers.
you think it's because
Edmonton's
from everything that I know, a team that bombed is usually not great. So maybe it's in the team name.
Yeah.
Or they hit bombs, but it's not a hitting sport, so I don't know.
You got a ways to go, boys.
Oh,
3 versus 2 seems fair.
oh no!
There you
obviously,
go. There you go.
Sean,
We'll see you guys in the 2-3 match.
obviously, it's Sean and Robert playing because Thomas is the third wheel there, so that's fine. That's easy.
Bombers, Dream Crushers, first round. Hey, we played that last week in the at the season. Are we playing head to head? Or are you guys going down to lane 1?
No, we can't. We can't go head to head.
That is against the whole idea.
But
of the league.
I think if it's in playoffs, I think it's okay because it doesn't
affect the rest of the league.
It's exactly, but the other one, yeah. We'll stick with formats in the.
But if we meet in playoffs, that's a great option. I like that.
When we meet in playoffs.
I don't know. You're talking us down pretty bad, so I don't even know.
Yeah, we're not even
playoffs.
we're not even making playoffs.
I hope we make relegation. I hope we make a relegation. Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta get out of relegation round at first.
I'd just be confused what to do with your lineup. I mean,
no, it's pretty simple. Carey's on the bench, never plays, and
Tim's
the rest
on
of
the
the guys
bench,
just rotate out. It works out really good.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Well, obviously, you have one girl in there. Vic plays, Adam plays, and then the rest we kind of just.
What's wrong? You only have one girl that's strong enough. You won't put them both in, Tim. Is that a shot against both
you're
your
gonna play
girls?
that card?
Is that a shot
No.
against both your girls? They're not good enough.
No.
Oh, okay.
Both are.
What happens when Weber gets pulled in anchor, and then who plays anchor?
One of the other.
I don't
one
know.
Of the other 7 all stars. Like fuck girl. Shut the fuck. Which one? Coin flip. National champ. That girl. Fuck.
Overconfident. Loss. Oh shit. Loss. Yeah.
That's all good, dude.
Yeah.
this got aggressive.
Somebody had to do it against it. Yeah. 3 against
I like
1.
it.
Three
I like
against
it.
1.
It's funny.
Oh man. Anything else you want to talk about before we end this? Someone needs a hug. Yeah. One of those two.
I just gotta stir him up.
Tim was trying
You
to
know
stir
what?
you up earlier, so I like it.
It's honestly fair. That's all Tim does is sit here and stir pots with everybody. It's good. I like it.
I'll go with it. Whatever. My team's good. My team's hella good, and it'd be nice to see the Bombers there too. So I mean,
Steve, I totally agree. I would love to see a hot mic.
We can. We have the option.
I think that would be awesome.
oh, Richie doesn't know our game, Daryl.
Oh yeah, we've done live pillow fighting before.
Do we talk about this? Do we talk about this real quick? So we're talking about a pillow fight here, and you know what?
Oh, I got
We're a little off topic, but you know what? This is what this section of the podcast is for, right? So here's a story for everyone. We used to play a game called Pillow Fuckface, and this was at all the cash tournaments when I was 18 at the time, and I remember we were at the Econo Lodge, and we decided we're gonna play this, and basically all this is you take a pillow and you stuff it right into the far end of it as tight as you can get it.
Well, that wasn't.
and then,
It didn't start off that way. Like when we
when I started playing,
used
this
to
is
be
where
just
it
a
evolved to at
used to
that
be
point.
It used to be a gentle love tap, and we'd be, laughing.
Yeah.
And,
No. So here we are. We're playing this stupid game, and you alternate people. So the one person, you could choose whoever goes first, and the other person sits on the edge of the bed and puts their hands underneath their legs so they can't move, and the other guy just winds up as hard as he can and hits you square in the face. So and then the other guy gets to do it back.
Yeah,
so we
tit
were
for tat, man. You take one,
Right.
you get one.
That's right. So here we are. We at the Econo Lodge, and Daryl's 3 sheets to win, and he's like, "You want to play?" I'm like, "Sure, let's play." He's like, "You can go first." I'm like, "All right." So I get up there and I hammer the guy, and he goes straight back, and he sits there, lays there for a little bit, and then I go over to grab a drink, and I poured myself a glass of spiced rum, and it was all spiced rum, and I buffaloed on it. No, sorry, I took a shot out of the glass, out of this 40, and I buffaloed on it. So then I had to do a full glass of this spiced rum, and then by the time I finished this, Daryl sits up and goes, "Hey man, you can go first." And I said, "You know what? I'm good."
Johnstone got knocked out by Davies, Mitch Davies in Regina one year. I think there's a video out there I still have.
I think we can go back and play, but there's no more rolling up the ball of the pillow down to the end.
The worst
Let's
was-
just go gentle pillow.
The worst was when
let's-
Wilton put the phone book in there and hit David Sanderson.
Yeah. So there's
No,
some
but
rules.
they used to do that for fun at the bar anyways.
Yeah. The lines got crossed. Yeah.
All right.
All right, well that's us really off topic for the evening, but
And
it
foot
felt
slaps.
like a
We didn't go to foot slaps too.
foot slaps, right? we're stupid people.
Yeah.
Divisional MVPs. Last season we did just league MVPs.
That's a good question.
I think we could do divisional MVPs. I think that's
Divisional
a good idea.
male, divisional female, and then league overall. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, we could do that. We can't do them today. And today, somebody else asked if are we doing any mid-season awards. They can't do mid-season awards when some teams have played 2 games and some teams 9 games. You just
Blame
can't.
the schedule maker.
Yeah. If you do, you just go with the best percentage, and that's the Dream Crushers, and give them all the awards, and we're happy, right?
Yeah, thanks, Daryl.
Yeah.
100%.
You're welcome. Yeah. No, we can't do mid-season awards in the schedule making like this. So it'll be end of the season awards. There's some front runners for sure.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
I would think
Definitely. Brad Titgat, Connie Ward, throw out a couple of names. Taylor's been playing okay, rock and roll. Shane Chafe, Brad Glynn, Brandon Smith, right? Couple of them. Tyler even, except for his $1.59.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Thanks, everyone. You can become a patron at patreon.com/5PLUniverse.
You can support this bullshit.
Yeah, you can support this all you want. For as little as $2 a month. We are getting more and more content. Hopefully we're going to be doing some more stuff here soon. I really want to see an analyst panel. I think that would be hilarious. It could be Sunday afternoons or it can be Monday evenings, whatever the analysts can get put together. Ask your friends.
I got a few names. We'll talk after. I got a few of them out there.
Yeah.
Love it.
We have some guests coming up. Maybe we should announce. Excited. We do actually have guests lined up. Next week is Danielle Leffler. Everybody knows Danielle. She's out in Nova Scotia now, but she's a nutritionalist, so she's going to hop on and we're going to do some stuff with that. And then obviously the ladies have their podcast. And then the final week, we have Amy Spence from PEI, who's actually one of the 3 ladies that are nominated for female athlete of the year for PEI. So a really good listen on that one as well. So
It's Ladies Month.
Yeah, no doubt, eh? That works
That's
so
awesome.
good.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Well, we'll see you guys all next week. No 5PL this week due to Alberta running their tournament masters this weekend. Unfortunately, most of our crew are involved in masters, so we can't.
What's the
run
Masters
5PL.
again? What do you guys do there? What's this Masters I hear about?
It's old. Nobody really cares
a couple
anymore.
more years you can play seniors, Daryl.
Have fun in Vegas, Daryl.
Yeah, have a great time. Go to
Please.
Circa, send us
Let's
pictures.
go Raiders.
Raiders,
God.
yeah.
You know what?
I mean, let's go Chiefs. Let's go to
When-
Circa.
I know it's a
Yeah.
big personal trip on the weekend, but maybe a little Instagram from 5PL Universe of you at the scorebook, whatever you want to do. We all look forward to it.
Yeah, we got to increase our social 5-pin U game.
That's right. We got to
Yeah,
really,
we'll go
really
promote
step
the
it up.
game. We'll go promote the game down south. You betcha.
Perfect. All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.